President Trump just removes some sanctions, some Russian sanctions. And we're going to talk about that. I'll explain what they were, why they happened, and you'll have a full picture of this before we're done. But first, I want to start with this because this morning, and this is just a quick recap as the first story, this morning, Russia hit Ukraine with the most drones and missiles of the entire war. I'm not assuming that everybody saw that video this morning. Russia launched 537 missiles and drones at Ukrainian civilians, which is every one of those is a war crime. Ukrainian pilot, his name was Ustimenko, paid with his life. He shot down 7, and then his plane was hit, and he went down. I think it's the first time F-16 was shot down in combat. Another one had failed somewhere along the way, if I recall correctly. The first one in combat. He guided the plane out of a populated area, but he couldn't eject in time. This is what it looks like. What Ukraine's air defense faced last night, more than 500 air targets. If it were any other country, actions, headlines, outrage for Russia's war against Ukraine. Just another week under fire. More sanctions are coming in 2 weeks, maybe. Well, okay, look at that number of drones and missiles. I can't even get it all on the screen at the same time. Like, that's what they were facing last night. And they were surprisingly effective, 88% effective. Still means things got through, like the ballistic missiles, which do the most damage. And again, if you want to see more about that, this is the largest attack of the war. Go back to my very last video and you'll see that there. I also talked about how the 3 helicopters that were apparently destroyed yesterday, the SBU has now confirmed the attack on the Kryskovisk airfield in occupied Crimea, a successful overnight operation on June 27th to 28th. And so I reported on that, said it was not confirmed. It does seem now to be confirmed. Okay. Now here's the big story. The big story is that Trump lifted sanctions on, okay, so these are sanctions that affected Russia. It goes back to a Hungarian nuclear power plant that they tried to start developing back in 2014, and then it kind of fell apart, and then they wanted to start it going again, and then Biden put some sanctions on, and Trump is lifting those sanctions. Okay, so the U.S. just lifted sanctions on Hungary's Paks nuclear expansion, involving Russia's Rosatom. That's their state-run nuclear power plant generating facility, and they also export creating nuclear power plants. So it's not all sanctions. It's just these very specific ones relating to this with Hungary. So it's not good that he's releasing any sanctions at all. I mean, you could have done this in a different way, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. Now, Hungary is proudly saying that they'll fight the EU to keep buying Russian oil and gas, says the commentary here. Here's Ukraine, United 24, U.S. lifts sanctions, clearing the path for Russia's nuclear expansion in Hungary. So here's what